everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the dress that you've just seen at the beginning of the video. So that's the pineapple crochet dress, and because of all the love and support that you have showed to the bralette, the pineapple bralette and the pineapple crochet skirt, I decided to turn this design into a dress because so many people are in love with cover-up dresses on my page. And yeah, let's see how this goes. For the yarn, I used Alize Cotton Gold and I needed just about 3.5 balls. So just to be on a safe side, have 4 balls on you if you want to make the same exact shirt length that I did. But if you are making a maxi length, then I would recommend about 6 to 7 balls. That should be enough. And that also depends on the size. So depending on the size that you're making for, you may need more or less yarn. And this yarn is 100 grams and it's 361 yards for each ball. So just have about 3 to 4 balls if you're making the same size, which is a medium, and the same length as mine. But if you're making a bigger size and a longer size, definitely have some like 2 to 3 balls extra so that you don't run out before you finish your project. And then I'm using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. This yarn recommends a 2 millimeter to 4 millimeter, so I found a sweet spot at the 3.5 millimeter, and that's what I'll be using for today. And then I'll also use a darning needle to weave in my ends, 2 stitch markers. I'll show you how to use them within the video. And then you also need a pair of scissors. The other thing that you'll need is a measuring tape. That's a must because we are going to take some measurements. For example, the underbust, the waistline, the hip circumference, and I will be explaining to you how to use those measurements within the video in order to receive a fitted dress just as you see in these images. So let's jump right into the video. We shall start off with the top and then keep pushing downwards in order to make the dress length that you would wish to have, either a short length or a long length. So if you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. Don't forget to check it out on my website, Coffee Shop and Ravelry, so that you can grab a copy for yourself in case you're not one who can sit through almost 2 hours of this video. So I'll be leaving all the links in the description box below and the related projects. For example, the top, the skirt, you can learn all these pieces, and they also have written patterns on my online shops. So let's begin. All right, so for the backup, you're going to grab your yarn and your hook, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. And you're going to make a chain of 18. So for the different sizes, just look on the screen. I'll be recommending a number of chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So I have my 18 chains, and this is for a size small. I'm going to go into the 4th chain from the hook. So counting from this one, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, I'm going to place 1 double crochet. And then double crochet in each of the next chains once until the second last chain. So I'm placing a double crochet into the second last chain, and I have only 1 chain left. All right, so in the final chain, you're going to place a total of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain. So that will bring us to the opposite side of our bra cup, or on the opposite side of the foundation chain. You're going to go into each of the next chains with only one double crochet while weaving in this tail. So one double crochet in each of the chains on the opposite side of the foundation chain. Alright, so we've come to the end of the row, and I'm placing my last double crochet into that chain 3 because it also counts as a stitch. So this is what we have. This is row 1. This is the top of the bra cup, and this is the base of the bra cup. Row 2, you're going to start off with a chain of 2, which counts as our very first double crochet. From now on, we are going to start our row with a chain of 2, and that counts as our very first double crochet. And then you're going to go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet and double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to the chain 2 space. So 1 double crochet into each and every stitch until you place a double crochet in the stitch before the chain 2 space. Alright, so I've just placed a double crochet in the stitch before the chain 2 space, and into the chain 2 space you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact space, and then place 1 double crochet in each of the following stitches until the end of the row. So if you see your work curling, that's fine. That's the only way that we are going to get this kind of shaping for our bra cup, as you can see here. So if you see your bra cup curling, just leave it as it is. Alright, don't forget to place 1 double crochet on top of the chain 2 at the beginning of the row because it counts as a stitch. Actually, this will be a chain of 3, I guess, but don't forget to go into it because it counts as a stitch. Now we're going on to row 3. You're going to make a chain of 2, which counts as a stitch. Turn your work and then go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet and double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to the chain 2 space. So basically row 3 is going to be the same as row 2, and that's the row that you're going to keep repeating until you get the size of the bra cup that you want for yourself. You can keep putting it against yourself so that you can see if you've gotten your desired fitting for the bra cup. You're going to do as many rows as it requires for you to get your desired coverage. So this is row 3, and we are just doing the same exact process as row 2. Once you get to the chain 2 space, you will place a total of 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same space. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until the end of the row. Don't forget to place a double crochet on top of the chain 2 here at the end of the row, because the chain 2 counts as a double crochet in this pattern. Alright, so we are coming to the end of row 3, and I'm placing a double crochet on top of the chain 2 of the previous row, just like that. So we're going to just repeat this row again and again until we have our desired coverage. I'll be mentioning the recommended number of rows depending on the different sizes. Alright, so I ended up with a total of 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is what your cup will look like. If it looks like it's creating some room, don't try to stretch it out. Just leave it as it is, because it will create a perfect fitting eventually. So we're going to go ahead and create an edging for our bra cup. To do this, I'm going to make a chain of 2 and turn my work. And then you're going to go into the same exact stitch with a total of 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. And then skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the next. Make a chain of 2, 2 double crochets into the same exact stitch where the chain 2 is coming from. Skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the next. Chain 2, 2 double crochets into the same stitch where the chain 2 is coming from. Skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the next. This is what the edging will look like. It's very subtle, but it creates a beautiful edging on the edges of the bra cup. So you're going to do that all the way up until you get to the chain 2 space. Alright, so when you have 2 stitches or less to the chain 2 space, you're going to just single crochet in each of the next stitches, and then into the chain 2 space you're going to place a total of 3 single crochets, and then count the number of stitches that you have on this side before the scallop. We have a total of 3 single crochets before the scallop on this side, before the 3 single crochets that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and mirror the same exact thing, a total of 3 single crochets, and then I start creating my scallops so that you balance what you have on this side onto the opposite side. So make a chain of 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same exact stitch where the chain 2 is coming from. And then skip 2 stitches, single crochet into the next. And you're going to repeat that all the way down the second side of the bra cup. Alright, so we're almost coming to the end, and I'm going to place my very last scallop, make a chain of 2, 2 more double crochets into the same stitch, skip the next 2 stitches and single crochet into the last stitch. So just like that, we have created these beautiful scallops on the edge of our bra cup, and you can see the difference that it makes compared to what we had before. You can see what the edge of the original bra cup looks like and the finished one with the scalloped edge. So from here, you're going to make a chain of 1 first of all. Before we cut our yarn, we're going to clean up the edge at the bottom of our bra cup. So you're going to go into the same stitch where you placed your very last single crochet and place a single crochet, and continue to place 2 single crochets in each double crochet row all the way across. Just clean up the bottom edge by placing 2 single crochets in each double crochet row. So we are cleaning up the edge because we want to attach this bra cup onto the bottom band. Just like that. And then you're going to go into the scallop row with only 1 single crochet, chain 1, and cut your yarn, leaving behind a tail for attaching. Pull through, and this is what our first bra cup looks like. Remember, the scallop row is the one that's going to determine which side is the right side of the work. So the side where the scallops are worked, the right side of the scallops is the right side of our bra cup, as you can see here. So you're going to go ahead and repeat the same exact process so that you have 2 identical bra cups. Alright guys, these are our 2 identical bra cups. As you can see, the bottom of the bra cups has been cleaned up with a single crochet row, and this is what the bra cups look like up close. They have this scalloped edge, and now we're going to go onto the bottom band. We're going to create a bottom band where these bra cups are supposed to sit. So we're going to take this away for some time, and we first create the bottom band and then we shall reintroduce them to attach them. Alright, so for the bottom band, we're going to make a chain that can wrap around your underbust when stretched. So you're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to make that chain that can wrap around your underbust when stretched. For me, I'm going to start off with a chain of 96. This chain should be a multiple of 8 plus 11 chains. So I will do a total of 96, which is my multiple of 8, and that multiple should actually be an even number. So an even multiple of 8 plus 11 chains. So for me, I'll do a total of 96 plus 11 chains. So let me do my 96 chains and I'll meet you back before I do the extra 11 chains. Alright guys, now for my starting chain, I started with a chain of 96, and now I'm going to make an extra of 11 chains. So make sure you have an even multiple of 8. For example, 96 divided by 8 is 12, and that number is an even number. And then we are going to make our extra 11 chains. So when you get your even multiple of 8, you're going to make 11 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now you're going to go into the 7th chain from the hook. So you're going to count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And into that 7th chain, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet in the US terms. You're going to go into the same exact chain with another double crochet. And then from here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and place 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain. 1 and 2. So that counts as a shell. For this pattern, a shell is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. Now you're going to make a chain of 5, and then you're going to skip over a total of 7 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into the 8th you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 5, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain. So for this pattern, a V-stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 5, and 1 more double crochet. So this is what you'll have. You're going to make a chain of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 7 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into the 8th you're going to place a shell. So that is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. So that's a shell into this chain. And then you're going to make a chain of 5, skip over 7 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into the 8th you're going to place a V-stitch. And for a V-stitch, as I had mentioned earlier on, you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 5, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain. So we are just repeating this all the way across. You chain 5, skip 7 chains, make a V-stitch, chain 5, skip 7 chains, make a shell, chain 5, skip 7 chains, make a V-stitch, like that all the way across, and I'll meet you back towards the end of my row. All right, now we're coming towards the end of row 1, and I've just placed a shell here, and you should be left with a total of 4 chains on your row. So you're going to skip over the next 3 chains, and into the final chain you're going to place a double crochet. Just like that. That marks the end of row 1. You should have started with a shell and then ended with a shell, and then within the middle you kept alternating between a V-stitch and a shell, a V-stitch and a shell, like that all the way across. So we're going on to row 2. For row 2, you're going to start off with making a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Turn your work into the chain 1 space of the first shell. You're going to place a shell, and remember, a shell is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and now into the V-stitch, the next V-stitch, which is this one, we're going to make a total of 5 groups of 2 treble crochets together, separated by chain 3 spaces, as you'll see later on. So after a chain of 3, you're going to yarn over twice, and then insert your hook into the V-stitch. Insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 2 loops left on your hook. Yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same space, pull up a loop. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 3 loops left on your hook, and yarn over, pull through all. That's a 2 treble crochet together stitch. Then you're going to make a chain of 3, and we're going to repeat that stitch, 2 treble crochets together. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you'll have 3 loops left on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all. So that's the second group. Remember, I told you we have to have a total of 5 groups of 2 treble crochet together stitches. So chain 3, 2 treble crochets together, and by now you should have known how to do the stitch. Chain 3, 2 treble crochets together into the same space. So far we have a total of 4 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we want a total of 5. So make a chain of 3 and make your last group, your last 2 treble crochet together stitch. Just like that. And then from here, you're going to make a chain of 3, and then you're going to place a shell into the chain 1 space of the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same chain 1 space. Chain 3, repeat what we just did here into the next V-stitch. So 5 groups of 2 treble crochet together stitches. Separated by chain 3 spaces, of course. All right, here we are. You can see it's the same exact thing that we have here. And then from here, you're going to make a chain of 3 and place a shell into the chain 1 space of the next shell. So we're going to repeat this all the way across. Chain 3, make this process into the V-stitch, chain 3, make a shell into the chain 1 space of the next shell, and you're going to repeat that until you place a shell into the very last chain 1 space of the last shell of the row, and I'll meet you back at that point. All right, so we're coming to the end of the row, which is row 2, and I'm going to make a chain of 3 and place a shell into the chain 1 space of the last shell of the previous row. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So just like that, we are going to double crochet after skipping the 2 stitches. So after the 2 double crochets there, you're going to go into that chain and place a double crochet. That marks the end of row 2, and this is what you should have. So we're going on to row 3. We start the same exact way that row 2 started. So make a chain of 3 and turn your work. Now you're going to go into the chain 1 space of the very first shell with a shell, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over the next chain 3 space, and go into the next chain 3 space in between the 2 treble crochet together stitch, and you're going to place a single crochet there. Then you're going to make a chain of 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So that should give us a total of 3 loops. This is a chain 3 space, sorry, and now we have 3 chain 5 loops. From here you're going to make a chain of 3 and then place a shell into the next shell. So we are placing a shell into the chain 1 space of the next shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And that's all that we're going to do for row 3. You can see what this looks like. We have started creating that pineapple shape. So from here you make a chain of 3, skip over the next chain 3 space, and you're going to make a single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and then chain 5 and single crochet into the next chain 3 loop or chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. From here you're going to make a chain of 3 and place a shell into the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So this is what you'll have. You're going to repeat this all the way across, and I'll meet you back towards the end of the row. So I'm coming to the end of row 3, and I've chained 3 after the chain 5 loops. I've made a chain of 3 and I'm placing a shell into the last chain 1 space of the last shell. So a shell into the shell. Alright, after placing your shell, you're going to place 1 double crochet on top of the chain 3 at the end of the previous row. That marks the end of row 3. This is what you should have. We're going on to row 4. And for row 4, you're going to start with a chain of 3, turn your work. You're going to place a shell into the very first shell, of course in the chain 1 space of the previous shell. From the row below. So this is a shell. You're going to make a chain of 5 and you're going to skip over the chain 3 space and go into the chain 5 loop with a single crochet. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. And then you're going to make a chain of 5 and place a shell into the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So that's a shell into the shell, chain 5, skip over the chain 3 space and go into the chain 5 loop with a single crochet. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. And then you're going to make a chain of 5 and place a shell into the next shell. Just like that. So you're going to repeat that all the way across your row, and I'll meet you back after placing the last shell into the last shell here. You're going to just go across doing the same exact thing. Alright, so I've placed a shell into the last shell of the previous row, and I'm placing 1 double crochet on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row. Just like that. So this marks the end of row 4. Row 5, you're going to start off with a chain of 3 turn your work. Place a shell into the chain 1 space of the first shell. Just like that. And then from here, you're going to make a chain of 5. Skip over the next chain 5 space and single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, and place a shell into the next shell. Of course, after skipping over the chain 5 space. So place a shell here. So this is what you should have. So you can see the shape of the pineapple. After this, you're going to make a chain of 5. Skip over the chain 5 space and single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, skip over the next chain 5 space and place a shell into the next shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. So we're going to repeat this all the way across until the end of the row, and I'll meet you back towards the end of the row. So I've just placed a shell into the last shell of the previous row, and I'm going to place 1 double crochet on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row. So that marks the end of row 5. We're going on to row 6, and row 6 is going to resemble row 2. So basically we are repeating rows 2 to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, again and again, and you'll see your pineapples forming. So I'll be leaving timestamps for you to follow along easily, but from now on, after row 5, you're just going to repeat rows 2 to 5 again and again until you get the length of the bottom band of the top that you want. Let me keep working my stitch until I get the length that I want, and I'll be back to show you what mine looks like. Alright guys, I ended up doing a total of 9 rows, and this gave me a total of 2 pineapples, as you can see here. 9 rows. And the fact that the skirt that I intend to match it with is already high-waisted, I didn't want to make this any longer than this because I want a space in between the skirt and the top. So once you're done with your very final row, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. Now we're going to turn our work onto the top side where we have the foundation chain of the bottom band, and we're going to make a chain of 50. So start with a slip knot and make your chain of 50. All right, so after your chain of 50, you're going to attach your yarn or your chain onto the corner, into that stitch on the edge of the piece, and this is the right side of the work, and you're going to place a single crochet there. Now you're going to go into the next space, which is a chain 3 space. You're going to make a total of 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And then into the chain that has the shell, you're going to place 1 half double crochet. Into the chain 7 space, you're going to place a total of 7 half double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then into the chain that has the V-stitch, you're going to place 1 half double crochet. Into the chain 7 space, you're going to place a total of 7 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then into the chain that has the shell, you're going to place 1 half double crochet. So we are just trying to clean up the top edge of our bottom band, because this is how the pineapples are going to look like. They're going to be facing downwards. So you're going to go all the way across, repeating what we've just done here, all the way across until the end of the row, and I'll meet you back at this point. Alright, so we're coming to the end of our band, and I've just placed a half double crochet in this chain that has a shell here, and then into the last space you're going to go ahead and place a total of 3 half double crochets, and then single crochet into the same exact space, just like that. And then you're going to make the same exact number of chains that you have on the opposite side. So I had a total of 50 chains on the other side. I'm going to just go and make sure I have a total of 50 chains on this side as well. So after your 50 chains, or whatever number of chains that you had on the opposite side, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. And then you can cut off the excess. Alright, so this is what the bottom band of your top should look like. Alright, now that we have our bottom band, we're going to locate the exact middle of the bottom band. For me, mine is here at this shell, that line. And we're going to reintroduce our backups that are supposed to attach onto the bottom band. So remember that tail that we left behind, we're going to use it to attach our backups onto the bottom band. So you're going to get your darning needle, and we're going to start with this side. I have a total of 30 stitches, 30 single crochets along the base of the backup. So I'm going to start from the center stitch where the stitch marker is, and I'm going to attach 2 times into the first stitch of the backup, and then I'm going to go ahead and start attaching the next stitch to the next stitch of the backup, the next stitch of the bottom band to the next stitch of the backup, all the way towards the side. This is attaching our very first backup. So you see how it's very easy to attach when you have stitches, clean stitches at the base of the backup. You just go stitch to stitch, as opposed to having just spaces or half double crochet spaces. All right, so we are through with attaching our bottom band onto the very first bra cup. I'll leave the tail there for weaving in, and I'm going to count this number of stitches. Remember, I mentioned that I have a total of 30 stitches at the base of the bra cup, so I'm going to count 30, starting with the stitch marker. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 and 30. So you're going to mark that stitch. The reason why we are doing this is because our second tail is on the outside, this outer edge of the bra cup. So we're going to attach it into the very first stitch on this side, just like that. And as I had mentioned, the first stitch is attached twice, just to secure the attaching, and then you're going to go into every stitch all the way across, attaching one stitch of the bottom band onto one stitch of the bra cup. So the final stitch into the stitch with a stitch marker, and I'm going to do it twice, and then at this point I can remove my stitch marker and push my tail onto the back side so that I can weave it in. So you're going to just weave in this tail. Just go in and out of a few stitches so that you secure this tail. After that, you're going to cut this yarn. You're going to go ahead and also weave in the tail on the opposite bra cup. Make sure you're weaving in on the wrong side of your work. So just like that, our bra cups are attached onto the bottom band of our top, and this is what our work looks like. Now we're going to go ahead and create straps for our top, and to do that I'm going to use an approach that I have taught before, because I want my straps to be a little bit thick as compared to just a simple chain. So you're going to attach your yarn into the middle chain of the middle stitch of the 3 stitches that you placed in the chain 2 space. So you're going to attach your yarn there. And you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Go back into the same exact space with a double crochet. Chain 3, double crochet in the space between the 2 double crochets from the previous row. Chain 3, double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches from the previous row. So you're going to do that until you have about 30 segments of this strap. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want a total of 30 segments. And then I'll be back to show you what to do next. Alright, so I have made 30 segments for my strap, and I'm going to go back on that strap to make it even a little bit thicker. So I'm going to make a chain of 3 and go into that space, that same space of the first segment, and place a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next segment, just like that. So we're going to go all the way down doing this. Chain 3 and single crochet into the next segment. Repeat that until you get back to the break-up. So you can see how thick the straps are and how detailed they look, as opposed to just a simple chain. Alright, so we've made it back to the break-up. I am going to make a chain of 3 and place a single crochet into the last segment, just like that, and then make a chain of 3 and slip stitch into that stitch where the very first chain 3 of the strap comes from. I'm going to slip stitch, make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn. Now I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to pull through and turn my work to the back side of the strap, and I'm going to just make a double knot using the tail at the beginning of the strap and the one at the end of the strap. Just make a double or a triple knot and cut off the excess yarn. And this is what our strap is going to look like. You can see how detailed it is. We're going to repeat the same exact process on the opposite side, or on the second break-up. Alright guys, we are through with both straps, and this is what they look like. Very beautiful and thick. And these are the ones that are going to tie behind the neck, just like this, behind your neck. Alright guys, in order to turn this beautiful bralette into a dress, you're going to make sure that your very last row of the pineapple stitch, or the bottom band, is the same as row 3. Hold on, 2, 3, 4. As row 4. The one that creates 2 loops here on the pineapple. You're going to make sure that's the row that you end on, and you're going to now create some sort of round, because now we're going to start working in rounds. So you're going to first take a measurement at the base of the bottom band. For me, that is a total of 24 inches, as you can see here. And my main aim is to get a total of around 26 to 27 inches. So we're going to create a chain that can give us our waistline circumference, and that chain should be an odd multiple of 8 plus 7 chains. For me, the fact that I'm almost at the waistline circumference, I'm going to make only one multiple of 8. So after my last double crochet here, I'll make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the multiple that I'm considering is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. So it should be an odd multiple, either 8 times 1 or 8 times 3 or 8 times 5. Make sure that that multiple is an odd number. So 8 times your odd number, and then plus 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So make sure that when you add these chains and you slip stitch, you're going to skip over this chain 3 and you're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet to form a round. So you're going to get your measuring tape, and when you put it here, you should be able to get half of your waistline circumference. As you can see here, I have 14, but that's totally fine. That is something very close to the waistline circumference that I am considering for this dress. So make sure you have half of your waistline circumference once you place your measuring tape like this. So make sure you get your multiples correct at this point, because once you make an error here, there's no turning back. So you're going to make a slip stitch into the next double crochet and a slip stitch into the next chain. So we've placed a slip stitch into the chain 1 space, and you're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. So once you make your chain of 3 and you turn your work, you're going to go into the chain 1 space with a total of 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain 1 space. This will create a shell for this row. Actually, this is round 1. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're going to skip over the next 2 double crochets, and then the chain 3, just skip over all that. Now we're going to start counting from the chains. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then into the 8th you're going to place a V-stitch. So 1 double crochet, chain 5, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 5, and you're going to skip over the next 7 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then skip over all this, and then into the chain 1 space of the next shell you are going to make a shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. So just like that, we've made it across. And now we're going to go back to our pattern. At this point, you're going to make a chain of 5, and then skip over the chain 5 space, and then single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, skip over the next chain 5 loop, and place a shell into the next shell. Just like that. And then make a chain of 5, skip over the next chain 5 space, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, skip over the next chain 5 space and place a shell into the next shell. So that's what we are going to repeat all the way around. At this point we are just repeating the same exact as if instructions for row 5. It's the one that looks like this. So this will leave us with only one loop at the top of each pineapple, as you can see here. So go all the way around and finish up this round. And I'll meet you back towards the end of this round 1. Alright, so we've come to the end of our round and I've just placed a single crochet in the chain 5 loop. Now I'll make a chain of 5 and slip stitch, skip over the chain 5 space, slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. So you can see the resemblance between the previous rows that we've been making and the rounds that we are making right now. The only difference is now we are working in rounds. So you're going to place your work like this and you're going to locate the side shell where you want your increases to be. For me, it's at this point because the next shell is towards the front of the round, of which I can't increase at this point. So I will take these 2 shells. You can make use of your stitch markers. I'll get one. I just want a different color so that we can see exactly what's going on. So I won't be using the red stitch marker. I'll use the pink one. So those are the 2 points that I'm going to consider when it comes to the increases to accommodate the hip circumference, because at this point we have half of our waistline circumference and this dress is supposed to fit around the hips and go all the way down. So you're going to, this is round 2. So we are through with round 1. Round 2, after your slip stitch here, we're going to make a slip stitch into the next double crochet and then slip stitch into the chain 1 space. Then make a chain of 3, double crochet into the same space, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets into the same space, just like that. So that's the very first shell of the round. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 3 and then place your 2 treble crochet together stitches separated by chain 3 spaces into the V-stitch. So I hope you still remember how to do that. 2 treble crochets together, chain 3, 2 treble crochets together, and you're going to do that until you have a group of 5 treble crochet together stitches separated by chain 3 spaces. Just like we were doing in the rows. Alright, so our groups are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, separated by chain 3 spaces. Make a chain of 3 and place a shell into the next shell. And we're placing that shell into the chain 1 space, of course. We place the shells in the chain 1 spaces of the next shell. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 3 and then place your groups of 2 treble crochet together stitches into this chain 5 space. So you skip over this one and go into that chain 5 loop and create your 5 groups of 2 treble crochet together stitches separated by chain 3 spaces. Alright, so we are through, as you can see here. Now we've reached that shell that we marked where we are supposed to place an increase. So at this point, you're going to make a chain of 3, and then into the chain 1 space of the next shell, you're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 more double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. So that's a group of 3 groups of 2 double crochets, as you can see here. So I'm going to just mark any stitch around this point because this is our increase point. Just put your stitch marker back and then make a chain of 3, and then place your groups of 2 treble crochet together stitches into this loop on top of the next pineapple. So chain 3, 2 treble crochet together, all right, so we are done with our 5 groups, and then make a chain of 3. And then this shell doesn't have a stitch marker. This is not a point of increase, so we just place a normal shell into the next shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets, chain 3, and place your treble crochet together stitches into the loop on top of the next pineapple. So you're going to repeat that until you get to this stitch marker where we're going to place another increase just like we've done on this side. So go all the way until you get here and I'll show you what to do. Alright guys, so we've come towards the second stitch marker, and after this part you're going to make a chain of 3 and remove your stitch marker, and you're going to create an increase at this point by placing 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain 1 space of this shell. And then we shall place our stitch marker back at this point just to trace where the increase is supposed to be located. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and place your 5 groups of 2 treble crochets together into the topmost loop of the next pineapple. As you can see here, we skip over the chain 5 space. Okay, so after this you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over the last chain 5 space and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Just place a slip stitch there. So these are our 2 points of increase. As you can see here, these are the points that are going to create our increases so that this dress can fit over our hip circumference. So let's go on to round 3 because we are done with round 2. All right guys, after your slip stitch, your last slip stitch of round 2, make sure you're working on the right side of the work. So I'm at that point where I'm done with round 2. I'm going to slip stitch into the next double crochet and slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. This is round 3. Make a chain of 3. Into the same space you're going to place a double crochet, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. So that counts as the very first shell of the round. Make a chain of 3 and skip the next chain 3 space and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. That will give us a total of 3 chain 5 loops. And then make a chain of 3 and place a shell into the next shell. Alright, so after this shell, you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over the next chain 3 space and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So you're going to repeat that pattern until you get to your stitch marker. So this is our stitch marker. You're going to remove it, and this is our point of increase. So you're going to make a chain of 3 and then into the first chain 1 space, this one here, you're going to place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and into the next chain 1 space of the increase point, you're going to still place a shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets. And then you're going to place your stitch marker in the chain 1 space between the 2 shells. You're going to place your stitch marker there. This is still within the line of increase. So from here, you're going to make your chain of 3 and continue with the pattern. Skip the next chain 3, single crochet into the next, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So this is what we have. From here, you're going to just continue chain 3, shell into the next shell until you get to your next increase point or the stitch marker on the opposite side. Remember, we have 2 increase points, the one on this side and the one on the opposite side, which is supposed to create increases for the hips. So you're going to go on with your pattern all the way across until you get to this point, and you will do the same exact thing that you've done at this increase point, and then finish up your round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Alright guys, so we've come to the end of the round and I'm going to make a chain of 3, skip over the last chain 3 space and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round, just like that. Now we're going on to round 4, and for that one we're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet and slip stitch into the chain 1 space, make a chain of 3, double crochet into the same chain 1 space, chain 1, 2 more double crochets into the same space. So that counts as the very first shell of our round. Then you're going to make a chain of 5 and single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. You're going to skip over the chain 3 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. So from here you're going to make a chain of 5 and place a shell into the next shell. Chain 5, skip the next chain 3 space and single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. And then you're going to make a chain of 5 and remove your stitch markers from the chain 1 in the middle of the 2 shells. You're going to go into the very first shell and place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, chain 1, into the chain 1 space, the next chain 1 space, you're going to place a shell. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more double crochets, chain 1, go into the chain 1 space of the next shell and place a shell. So this is what you'll have at the increase point, a total of 3 shells. Then from here you're going to place your stitch marker into the chain 1 space of the middle shell, and then you're going to make a chain of 5, skip the next chain 3 space and single crochet into the chain 5 space, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, skip the next chain 3 space and place a shell into the next shell. So just like that, you're going to keep repeating this pattern, and when you get to the opposite side where you have to increase, you're going to repeat the same exact process that you have done here. At this point, you're going to apply the same exact procedure here and then finish up your round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. So we've come to the end of the round and we are making a chain of 5 and skipping the last chain 3 and slip stitching on top of the first chain 3 of the round. At this point you're going to place your work like this, and you're going to try to stretch out your work, and we're going to take a measurement at the base of our piece. So you can see when we slightly stretch, because we don't want this just to be overstretched when worn. My main aim is to get to around half of the hip circumference, which is about 20 inches. And at this point, I'm at about 18 inches. That means I'm still going on with my increases. And that's a good thing because I wanted to get to that point to explain to you in case you're making for bigger sizes. So we're going on to round 5. You're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet, slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, and double crochet chain 1 and 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain 1 space. From here you're going to make a chain of 5, skip over the next chain 5 space and single crochet into the chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, and then make a chain of 5 and place a shell into the next shell. So skip over the next chain 5 space and place a shell into the next shell. So just like that, our full pineapple has been formed, as you can see here. We're going to repeat that. Chain 5, skip the next chain 5 space, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, skip the next chain 5 space, and this is our point of increase. And since we are not yet at that level where we are comfortable with the fitting, you're going to remove this stitch marker. So after you chain 5, into the first shell, you're going to place a shell. We're going into the chain 1 spaces, of course. So place a shell into the first shell, chain 1, into the second shell, which is the middle shell. We're going to create another increase. Remember what we did at this point when we did a total of 3 groups of 2 double crochets. We're going to do that same exact thing at this point. So after your chain of 1, into the chain 1 space of the middle shell, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets, all in the same space. So that way we are still increasing along the middle lane. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and place a shell into the third shell, which is the last shell of the increase point. All right, so you're going to place your stitch marker at this point, somewhere around there, the exact middle line of the increase. From here you're going to go on with your pattern as usual. Chain 5, skip the next chain 5 space and single crochet into the chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the chain 5 loop, chain 5, and then this is just a normal shell. This is not an increase point, so we shall just place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. And just like that, our next pineapple is finished. You're going to repeat that until you get to your next increase point, where you will do the same exact thing that we've done here, and then finish up your round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. This is round 5. So finish up round 5 and I'll meet you back at the end. Alright, so we've come to the end of round 5 and you can see our complete pineapple at this point. You're going to make a chain of 5 and skip over the last chain 5 space and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. This is what our work will look like. Now we are going on to round 6. You're going to slip stitch into the next double crochet, slip stitch into the chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets into the same chain 1 space. That counts as the first shell of round 6. You're going to make a chain of 3, and at this point we are going to repeat rounds 2 to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 when it comes to this area here. But when it comes to this, I will explain when it comes to this increase point, because you're going to just look down here and you see exactly what you did after. Now let me just show you the increases here. At this point, we created a total of 3 groups of 2 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces, and that's exactly what we have at round 2. Yes, so you repeat the same exact process and try to grow out your increase point. You spread it out the same exact way. So that means at this point you will place a shell into the chain 1 space, then chain 1, a shell into the next chain 1 space, just like we did for round 3. But at this point we are repeating the same process. Round 6 is the same as round 2, but when you get to this point, you just look down and see the formation that we followed until you get to a point where you have just shells, just like we have at round 5, that we had a shell, a chain 1, a shell, a chain 1, and a shell. So we are going to grow this area here until we only have shells, and then I'll be back to show you what that looks like. Otherwise, if I'm to go through each and every round for you, it will take a very long time. The tutorial will be much more elongated. So follow the same instructions. The good thing, you now know the stitch, but now when it comes to the increase points, just look down and see exactly what you did and follow the same exact steps to spread out this area here. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what that will look like after just a few rounds. Alright guys, I wanted to show you what the increase point of round 6 will look like. It will look like this, and it has a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4 shells. And then you go back to our original pattern. Alright, now for round 7, this is what your increase point is going to look like. It's going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shells. And that means if at all you take a measurement after round 7 and you don't have half of your hip circumference, this is the middle shell that you're going to consider in order to create another increase, just like we did at round 2 and at this round, splitting the shell into 3. So our goal is to always have a total, an odd number of shells before we create another split in order to create more increases. So right now at round 7, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shells at the point of increase. And you can see the beginning of the round, how it looks like. This doesn't change from what we already know, but this is the point that may be a little bit confusing, but yeah, I hope I have explained it very well. So let me go ahead and finish up my round. Alright guys, here we are at the end of round 7. And this is what your work will look like. You can see the spread out. You're going to place your measuring tape. For me, that is at 17 inches, but when stretched can get to 20 inches. I'm stretching slightly to 20 inches. I'm not fully stretching because I need these pineapples to remain intact. So if at this point you haven't yet gotten half of your hip circumference, you know exactly what to do at the increase points. You locate the exact middle shell and then split it and repeat the same exact process that we've been doing along the increase point. And from now on, once you get half of your hip circumference, when you place your work like this and slightly stretch it, we're just going to go ahead and keep working our plain rounds without any increases. So that means at this point of increase, you just keep placing a shell chain 1, shell, chain 1, shell, chain 1, shell, chain 1 and shell. And we are going to maintain these 5 shells. They're not going to increase from this point, unless if you haven't yet gotten your hip circumference and you need to create another increase. That means for you, you will go to a total of 7 shells instead of 5. If you're even bigger than that, then maybe you will increase to 9 shells. So once you get to a point whereby you can stretch your work slightly to your hip circumference, half of your hip circumference, the next rounds are going to just be plain rounds. You're going to follow the pattern. This is round 7, and I'm going to make my very first shell into the first shell, just like that. And then here you're going to repeat the same exact thing that we've been doing before. So you make a chain of 5 and then single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. You skip the chain 3, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop, chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 5 loop. So you can see how the pattern just keeps repeating itself. I'm going to keep working and growing my dress to the length that I want it to be at, because at this point I'm not doing any more increases. Now the dress is going to change direction from spreading out into a flat, like it's now going to just go down, all the way down. So basically we are now repeating rows, because this is round 8. Round 8 is going to resemble round 4. And then round 9 will resemble round 5. And then you keep repeating rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when it comes to the increase part, just don't forget, once you hit your hip circumference, no more increases. You just maintain the number of shells that you have at this point. For me, that is 5. And you will see how the 5 shells will start running down along the hip section of the dress. So I'm going to do some more rounds. This is round 8, and I had mentioned that it resembles round 4. Then round 9 will resemble round 5, and then you keep repeating rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And your dress will grow, and I will show you how mine will look like eventually. Alright guys, as you can see, I am through with my dress. I ended up doing a total of 35 rounds in order to get the short length. But if you want it longer, keep pushing guys. I'm not going to dictate the number of rounds that you're supposed to make for yourself. You're going to just repeat the pattern until you get your desired length, as you can see here. Now I'm going to be explaining the lace up at the back in order to get the same exact effect that I got on mine. We have these 2 strings. You remember them from the top. This is how the bottom looks like. This is where I ended, and I'll weave that in later on. But for now, you are going to get those 2 strands at the top of the bottom band of the top, and you're going to lace it up in and out of every row, just like a shoelace. That's what I did for my piece in order for it to gather and look very beautiful on my model, as you can see in the image. So just keep lacing up in and out of every row, or you can skip one row. That's really up to you. You can go into each row or just skip one row and go into the next. So if you have long enough straps, I would advise to go into each and every row on the side of the bottom band of the top before we joined into the round. So you can see some sort of gathering at the back. Look at that. This is the line along which we are lacing up. the back of our dress. So I am through with the rows of the bottom band of the top, and what I'm going to do is to get this strand and push it to this side of the V-stitch that we have here, and then get this one and push it to the opposite side as well, just like that. So after that, you can just tie a knot. Make sure you can untie it, don't make it like knotted. So this is what we have at the back of the dress, as you can see here. So this is going to give you that beautiful effect that I have on my model, and this is what the back of the dress looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you share it, and share it in your crochet groups, communities, because this is a lovely design, and when lined you can literally wear this anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day. Bye.